Hey guys, welcome back to my fifth episode of Chapter 1 CSCS NSCA, right? So for you to understand this episode really well, what you need to know, what I recommend that you follow the whole series, right? So unless you attend the watch the fourth episode, which is your sliding filament theory, you will not understand what exactly I'm talking about in this particular chapter, right? So this chapter is about length tension relationship, right? So it is where you will understand how the muscle length is going to affect your force producing capacity positively or negatively, right? So what you want to understand that at certain length your muscle can generate force, right? So and it's about knowing which is the right length where you can generate optimal force, right? So here what you want to understand is for optimal muscle length, right? If you be at the right length, right, you can generate maximum force, right? So from the past, right, from the last chapter, we learned about sliding filament theory, which was about the myosin heads attaching onto the actin and helping it pulling forward, right? So this is like, let's take an example. This is your myosin heads attaching onto the actin and pulling it closer, right? So now here what you see is here I can hold on to, but then this is not a strong grip, right? So now if I move further, what I do is I can hold on to a little stronger, but still not as strong as it can, right? So now if I move further, now I have a complete grip. It's like these are myosin heads holding on to the actins, right? Active side. So this is the position where I can have the strongest grip and I can produce maximum force, right? If I go further, some of the heads are going to get detached and I will be slightly weak, right? So this is where you need to understand the myosin and actin cross bridging will help us with getting more stronger or even weaker, right? So here, if you can see in this chart here, right? So what you see is this, let's begin with four, right? So four here, what you see is there is no interaction, or I will say there's very few interaction between the myosin head and the actin sides, right? So this can be a resting length. So as you move further, right, so as you try to contract, what happens? There is slight interaction that has happened between the myosin and actin. So this is the position where you feel strong, but not the strongest, right? You can hold on to, but you cannot generate a lot of force, right? If someone tries to pull me down, he can easily do that, right? So now if I move further ahead, what happens is now this bridging is getting better, right? There's more interaction between the myosin head and the actins. And as I move further, right? So this is the position more or less for all of us, right? This is where I feel the strongest. This is where I can generate a lot of force. If someone tries to pull me from the other end, I can hold on really strong and long, right? So this is the position where you can see in this too, right? This is where there is maximum interaction happening between the myosin head and the actin active sites, right? So this is where this is the optimal length where you are the strongest, you can generate maximum force, right? So optimal length is where you can generate maximum force, right? And I will say they are neither too short or neither to stretch, right? So this is the position, right? So you need to know for every muscle there will be a different optimal length through that position you can generate a lot of force, right? So now what happens is this optimal length as I go past this length, right? So if this is the strongest, if I go further, what happens? I become slightly weak, right? I cannot hold on to that strongly as I could here, right? So what has happened? Some of the myosin heads has detached, right? Which you can see it here. So the overlap has gone further where I can see experience some detachment of the myosin heads where I am still weak compared to what I was at this position A, right? So here, let's start from here. From four, you are the weakest. As you move further, three, you are still better. Two is where you are the strongest. You go past that. One is the weak. You weak again. I will say there's a That's where I can generate less force, and if I go further, I will be able to generate even lesser, right? So too short is equal to less force, right? If and that's because of the overlap is too much, fewer cross bridges are formed and causing resulting to less force, right? If too long, it's again still less force. It is where the muscle is stretched, the filaments are far apart, cannot form enough cross bridge, and less force, right? So what you understand at specific point or position or the length of the muscle, your body can generate max force or the minimum force, right? So if you want to uh, uh, this is where you want to capitalize on, right? So when it comes to long jump or vertical jump or any other sports that you engage in, right? You need to be at the right position, or you need to position yourself right for that explosive force or that you want to generate, right? So it's like if I'm doing a jump squat, right? So if I go too low, I will not be able to generate enough force compared to a little higher, right? So this is the position where I can generate a lot of force and I can jump high. It's like doing a squat, right? This is the position where you feel the weakest, right? But as you come to that half squat position, you can generate a lot of force, right? So this was it with this topic, which is length attention relationship. So, guys, I hope you're liking my lectures. And if you're liking, do make sure to subscribe and not speak a lot about. So, this was it for this chapter. Let's meet in episode 6 with another topic of chapter 1 of NSCA CSCS series. Bye.